planetary industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Fear itself. Fear itself. Fear itself. Where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
My Prepper brothers and sisters, you've arrived at the bunker. Grab a cup of joe, a stout tea, or maybe your favorite adult beverage. This is the Prepper's place for open discussion on whatever the hell we want. Brought to you whatever the hell way we want. This is the new format of Top's Bunker. So sit down, kick back, post up, relax, and welcome to the bunker.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Military industrial complex.
And we as people will get to promised land.
We will make America strong again, proud again, safe again. We will make America great again.
Preppers, survivalists, off-gridders, homesteaders, and the like. Welcome to Top's Bunker, a podcast for preppers. Leave a voicemail to get on the show, speakpipe.com/tops, or use a live message option on our Facebook group, Top's Bunker. Email us at shtf@topsbunker.com. Visit our site, topsbunker.com. I want to thank y'all for joining us. We got a great show for you. Tonight, Rhonda and Missy will introduce Annette to the show. Annette comes to us from Missy's part of the world, the great state of North Carolina. She's rocking the homestead lifestyle and will no doubt be a fan favorite regular on the Dirty Garden Hose show. So let's get to it.
Oh, what a mess. I hate technology.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, I don't hate it as long as I get somebody else to do all this stuff for me behind the scenes. I'll just sit in the seat. I'm good.
So, Annette and Missy, do y'all know each other?
Haven't had a chance to meet yet.
No, I just heard you on the first Garden Hose podcast and personally met or anything. Saw the intro, which was really cool.
Well, Annette, since you and Rhonda already have familiarity, can I get a little bit of some information about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I started listening to the podcast a couple years ago and just fell in love with it and learned a lot. I've been in administrative work for years and then went to human resources for the past 2 years. Have a small farm with 29 hens, 7 roosters, and just started the seeds last year and have gotten interested in doing that. My goal was to get tomatoes in the house because I love tomatoes year round. And I told the kids I'm going to buy some grow lights, bring the tomatoes in, and maybe I'll have tomatoes over the winter. Worst case, they'll die and I'll just throw them away. Well, they died. Okay. So I started working with the seeds, but I like the medicinal herbs. I love anything herbs, small homesteading, just being reliant. And I've learned a lot on this podcast. I've been just a great fan, and I'm kind of blown away to be on here tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. It's nice to get to know a little bit about your background. And I know for a fact I'll be probably leaning on you since we're getting ready to start with chickens this year.
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah, there's a lot to learn. And my daughter had them for the longest time. And due to some different situations, she wound up giving her chickens to her sister-in-law. And that was my big source of eggs. And right now, eggs at the grocery store are almost non-existent.
I about fell over. I didn't know because I never look, and I happened to roll by Aldi Sunday, and I was like, "Holy crike!" Yeah. And then I hear people want to buy the birds to save money on eggs, and of course, you're laughing at that too because those are the most expensive free eggs you'll ever get. But I love doing it. It's rewarding to me, and oddly, it just decompresses me after a day of work, going out there and taking care of them. So, it is. So I'm excited for you, Missy. Let me know when you get started if you have any questions.
Well, right now we're still doing our backward planning. Jeremy had to finish a couple of other projects. I wasn't quite so nice. I gave him 3 weeks to get a couple of areas cleaned up. I said, or I'm going to let people come through and make me an offer. Don't talk to me about, any more property and homesteading, because we're looking for a lot of property. And I'm like, don't talk to me about chicken houses until this is done. So we're done with those other projects, and I've been sending him a gazillion ideas for chicken houses. But my big thing for him is I don't want to put a ton of money into building. We have so many different resources available, like, I'd have to send you guys some pictures in one of our other private chats so you can kind of see where we're at. The city has come to us now, and we've got a bunch of pallets, and I'm like, hey, I've got 3 dogs. I don't have a fenced yard, so I'm kind of using one of those, the wireless collars.
Yeah.
But sometimes, they're bigger dogs and they get past a barrier that it's worth the zap. And so my neighbor's got chickens in chicken houses, and a chicken house, not a industrial chicken house, but their chicken house for their yard.
Right.
And my bigger male dog, he's a Belgian Shepherd, kept going down there looking at the chickens, and I was just really concerned about that. So I told Jeremy, I said, you see all those pallets? I want a pallet fence.
Yeah.
And he did a part of a pallet fence, and it looks incredible. So I'm just trying to use different resources that we have for next to nothing to get it built.
Hey, we've got a lot of pallets off of Facebook Market. People just stick them out there and put them on there for free.
You'll be surprised at what you can get because we have 3 runs and probably no more than $1,000 in all of it because we got spare parts like what you're saying. We bought one of the houses that was built from pallets that we bought off of somebody and had to disassemble and move over here. And then look for dog panels, the fencing panels. We've gotten those for either next to nothing on Facebook Marketplace or where people are just wanting to get rid of them, haul them off. It's got a bent in pole or whatever. We don't care about the bent pole. We just want the fence. So we've done that as well. And you can really do it. It doesn't look like those little designer houses you see on Facebook. Mine look nothing like that, but they will keep the birds safe, keeps them covered up, and you don't spend a lot of money. It can be done.
Well, I know he's looking at some of the cattle panels and also some stuff that we're wanting to do where the garden's going to be at. So, again, I'll be leaning on your experience with the chickens and stuff. And, I'm not much to get out anyway. Like today was a day, federal holiday. I decided to go shopping with Jeremy. I can go into about 2 stores and I'm good for maybe a total of 45 minutes. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm tapped out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he is my shopper. Grocery shopping, even clothes shopping.
Wow.
When I have to go on a business trip and, over the years and with my age and changes in hormones, my sizes have gone up and down and I'll get real frustrated with my wardrobe and he'll leave and he'll come home with like 5 complete outfits to include shoes.
Oh, holy cow.
Yeah. And it's got to be funny for the women in the store because they'd be like, hey, ma'am, I'm sorry, not trying to stalk you or anything, but you're about the same size of my wife. And I'm trying to buy her some business outfits. And, can I just hold this up and look at you to make sure that this might be the right fit?
Oh, that's too funny. My husband's the polar opposite.
No, I'm good with grocery shopping. I love to grocery shop. I love to cook. But when it comes to anything else, I'm pretty much out in the stores just getting steps and just seeing what's out there. And it's maybe once every 5 or 6 months I'll go out for about 45 minutes. Yeah. But I love being in my yard, and I love being outside working, cutting my grass, taking care of things, growing plants, taking care of the animals. And I do work at home. Annette, you're saying that you've got a background in HR, and
Yes.
I've got a background in HR as well. And I've got a little bit of military, but my big area of expertise in the military is human resources and recruiting. So I have the great fortune of rolling out of bed in sweats or pajamas and getting a cup of coffee and getting on the computer. Occasionally, if I have meetings, I might fix my hair and my makeup, put on a nice shirt and with my pajama bottoms and do my meeting and call it a day.
Oh, that's so funny. See, I have to put on the clothes because if I leave my nighty nights on, my body knows, and it's going, hey, there's a nice comfy bed over there. Hey, come over here. So yeah, I have to, but I love it. It is so nice to just have the coffee, brew the coffee, and then I have a big window where I set up my computer. So it's very nice. I like having that availability. So, and I get what you say about being outside. It's therapy, it's healing, it's just so grounding.
And I know for me, I think I'd already shared with Rhonda before. Years ago, I was really into long distance running.
Oh, wow.
When I talk about long distance running, I mean really long distance running. It was marathons on a regular 50-milers and 100-mile events that you had to do in 30 hours or less. And
holy crap.
So I do have the gift of gab. In our field, you have to be able to talk with people. And as an HR recruiter, I definitely talk with a lot of people. But then if I am thrust into large groups of people or folks coming over, like we had people come over that are friends, but they came over unexpectedly the other day. And it just becomes too much. You need a place to escape. And for me, it used to be in the woods running. And I remember assessing in special operations, and one of the unit psychologists had met with me, and she says, I understand you're a big runner and you run in the woods. She goes, do you carry a gun? I'm like, well, I can't because it's federal property, but no, why would I? She's like, aren't you scared of being alone out there? I'm like, am I supposed to be? Like, I'm on the move. If everybody else is scared to be in the woods, I guess I'm safe.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Oh, yeah. But of course, I've gotten a little bit older, some injuries, life happens, hormones change, and I don't get to do all the things I used to love as frequently. So my way of decompressing is if I can't control everything that's happening in my environment and things get to be too much, it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter. I'm going to go get on my lawnmower. I'm going to put some lines in the yard. There's going to be some type of order just so I can feel accomplished.
That sounds very therapeutic and very healing. I like that.
Are you guys getting the winter storms in your area?
In my area, they're calling for it to come in Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, anytime somebody just says snowflake, they go nuts. So the roads are already salted. What about you, Missy?
Well, where are you at, Annette?
I'm in the foothills, Rutherford County.
Okay. So I'm down in North Carolina, outside the center of the universe, right by Fort Bragg. I live in Harnett County. So, yeah, we're just going to they've already salted the roads here. Probably just going to get an ice mix. Yeah, I thought I was really prepared for it, but, with the cooler temperatures, and my cousin's been staying with us from the north. I think I'd shared that with you, Rhonda. We've been using the fireplace a lot. She really has enjoyed being here and, having that fire or a fire in the fire pit out back. And we've gone through so much wood. I think I have enough maybe for 3 days for nonstop, burning. And then lo and behold, I have a sweet gumball tree in my front yard. It's been hit by lightning twice. And with the high winds the other day, part of it fell off. So Jeremy has spent today cutting it up and splitting it and stacking it on the porch. So we'll have more wood for the storm coming in.
Yeah, we just burned through that wood so fast. It was unbelievable.
Well, I know we'll burn anything. Most people are wood snobs and they're only going to burn hardwood in their fireplace. I don't care what it is because you can get, you can clean your fireplace. But pine, I find, especially if it's seasoned pine, it's going to burn very quickly. But the hardwoods, they usually last a lot longer. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with the sweet gumball tree, because the part that fell, it's already seasoned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's already that dead and seasoned.
Annette, I wanted to ask you about your chickens.
Yeah.
Do you do anything special in the cold weather when it drops this low?
Definitely add the straw, add more straw, make sure they're dry. The biggest risk with this weather when it gets this kind of cold is you don't want them to get drafts. Yeah. And so I have tarp all the way around, tarp above, have extra straw in the coops, just go around and do a perimeter, examine the perimeter and make sure that there's not areas that the cold air is going to come in to where they're going to get cold. And so far they've done well. When we had the crazy, crazy cold weather where it was 19 and 18 degrees, they still did well. I did have to pull some of them off one of the top of the coops because they were insistent on sleeping on the roof. And so I just grabbed a handful of them, tossed them in a coop and said, hey, go in there, you're going to die. So that's what happened. But mainly just keeping the tarp and extra straw, and then obviously breaking up the ice water. You have to stay on top of that too because it turns to ice, and the salt in the water bottle didn't work that well. I tried it. It helped it not freeze as badly, but it was still frozen.
We got a waterer that's heated, and it's been working pretty well, but it's kind of a pain to fill up. But
now, tell me that again, because, I've seen some different things where people use old crock pots that maybe you can't see the digital display or something on anymore, or maybe it's not as pretty as it used to be. I've seen where people use that and will put water in it. So what were you saying that you used to heat your water?
We bought a waterer at the farm store. It has a heater built into it. So it looks like a regular waterer with the red base, but it has a plug on it. It doesn't get warm. I think it's like 37 degrees, something like that, just enough to keep it from freezing.
I'm taking notes.
I think it's been wonderful. I can't imagine having to go out there and break ice every day in it. I'm a wuss when it comes to the cold weather because I'm from Texas. But we got a couple of our little hens have their feathers pecked off their backs, and they're just not growing back. And now their bottoms, their fluffy butts are bare. Have you had that happen, Annette? I think we lost her.
Earlier, she was kind of going in and out when I was trying to listen. Hopefully, she'll come back up.
Maybe she had to restart. Yeah, these two little hens, I feel bad for them. I brought them in and put them in a pen. And there's a lot of good Facebook groups about chickens once you get started. There's actually one that has veterinarians in it. So you can ask advice, and only the veterinarians are allowed to answer the questions.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I have just a tiny bit of experience. So when my daughter was doing all hers and she would go out of town, Jeremy and I would go over. She had her little hatchlings and stuff in the house, and then she had chickens and turkeys out back and her pigs. So that was really interesting. But again, it's different if we're just coming in and helping a little bit from doing it from, scratch, building the house and learning all the different things that we have to do. Maybe in future years, we'll do our own hatchlings too.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun watching them grow up from babies, but I might be a little too attached now.
That was what my daughter said is, she loved her chickens. Those were her family. And then, of course, the same with her pigs. And the pigs were Bessie and Sally. I said they would have been like fried in bacon if they had been. But, when she wound up having to move, she, again, gave up all of her chickens. She gave her pigs to a local farm that they, it's one of the people we know. My daughters have grown up out in the area, and they've got a big farm, and they have different animals that have been donated. And so they're there for the kids. The local schools go out and they do field trips and stuff and get to see the animals and take care of them.
That's cool.
They also do the big pumpkin patch during the fall, so the kids get to go out and, pick their own pumpkin.
That's fun. I don't know if Annette is, she messaged me. I'm not sure if she's able to rejoin. Okay. So do you recruit year-round, Missy?
I do. Yeah, it's been a really interesting last couple of weeks because based off a lot of questioning about where our taxpayer money is being spent and how it's being spent, there have been a lot of places that have been shut down. So I've got lots and lots of resumes coming in for people looking for opportunities. And most of what I do is I recruit cleared IT and intelligence disciplines for different agencies.
Oh.
So yeah, pretty much anything in the intelligence community. So it's been an interesting time with the influx of resumes and looking at the places that they're all coming from, all trying to find new work. And it's got to be an interesting time for a lot of folks, but I can't say that I'm angry about it. I think it's important that, we as taxpayers should know exactly where our money's going. And I'm all about American interests first.
I agree. So is Tulsi Gabbard over the intelligence now?
Yeah, she was sworn in for it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't remember what area. Yeah, I like her. She's awesome.
Yeah. So, very, very interesting times. And, we talked about the whole thing with the eggs, and it can be conspiracy theories, but prior to, and of course, with it being President's Day, prior to this one coming in, I saw some different things out there, mainstream media, that there was some type of bird flu and people, were forced to kill like 400,000 of their chickens, which created a huge shortage for the eggs.
Yeah. I also heard that they found cats with the bird flu.
Well, I don't know what to think anymore. I just, I'm looking for the economy to get better, but if it doesn't get better, I just want us to be prepared. I want us to be, self-sufficient as best as possible, and or, being part of a community that's looking forward to being able to take care of each other, which is, I think, incredible how, we're all coming together. Jeremy's been listening to you guys for quite some time and really been big on this. And so we'll just see what the economy has to say, but we'll be prepared regardless.
Yeah, I think it's important to get the message out there about being prepared, especially for the younger people that I was probably that way when I was young, just didn't think anything was ever going to happen to me.
I don't know. It's a very different generation, and I don't know if it's based off certain geography, but I know when I was coming up, I always wanted to be able to work. I always just felt like I needed to produce. I took heed to things that are said. If you appreciate a good meal, you help clean the table, you help do the dishes. There's many hands that make light work. And what I'm saying with this generation, it's not quite the same. Mm-hmm. It's almost like having to beg people to do stuff. If you walk by a piece of trash, you would think somebody would pick it up, or you see a cart at the grocery store that somebody left in the parking lot. Common courtesy and sense would be, go put it up so it doesn't create any issues for anybody coming in and out of the parking lot, etc. But I can watch people just walk by stuff like it's not even a second thought. I remember years ago when I was running a franchise in our city in Fayetteville, and cell phones were becoming a big thing, and we worked in customer service, and it got to the point that I had to take the cell phones away from my employees as they came in and said, if it's an emergency, your family can call you on the landline. And I would even have to take my stools from behind the counters, because the minute they sat down, they forgot that they were supposed to be serving people. Like, your job is to serve and greet, and take care of them. And all of a sudden, it's like they just wanted to sit down and got into like a lazy mindset or wanted to get on the computer. So it's really interesting times just trying to teach young people life skills and customer service skills.
Not everyone has it. Are you back on, Annette?
I am. Sorry about that.
No problem. This is not a good technology day, apparently.
Oh, anyway, I apologize. I do not know what happened. Everything just went quiet. I was rattling off, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm by myself.
I forgot what we were talking about when that happened.
Keeping chickens from freezing in the winter.
You were asking about the ones that didn't have tail feathers, if they're at risk for getting frostbite.
Yeah, I bought this purple spray that I saw in a Facebook group. Hopefully it was the right thing to do. And it's actually for horses. And I sprayed their bare backs and their bottoms with it. And it's supposed to keep the other chickens from noticing as much because it's not white skin showing. So one of the chickens now has feathers growing back in, but the other one is still bare. Thinking about bringing her in the house, be my personal pet.
Is it from overbreeding or from molting?
I thought it was molting at first, but we have 20 hens and 1 rooster, so I can't imagine. I mean, that's a lot of hens for him to keep up with.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be able to do that. Maybe bump up her protein intake. Most protein comes as a 16%. Go for a little higher protein feed. Unless that's his favorite girl.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. Do you have dogs, Annette?
I do. Sorry about that. They were barking earlier. I had to text my husband and tell him to make them be quiet.
That's all right. I know Missy has 4, right?
Well, we're back to 3. So we did have one of our pups was surrendered back to us. The family that had taken her just was dealing with a lot of life circumstances, and we had Luna for about 24 hours and were able to find her another home. So we're back to 3. I have Belgian Shepherds.
We have 3 dogs. 2 of them are tiny, and one of them is like a cow. Ozzy, we were very worried about him being out around the chickens, but Keith let him out while I was in Texas. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And he did fine. He didn't try to chase them or anything. He just laid out in the grass.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever heard this? I visited a farm, and I've heard this from other people too, that if a dog kills one of your chickens, you tie the chicken around its neck for a week, and the dog has to run around with a dead chicken hanging off of it. And it's supposed to break the dog from ever killing another chicken.
I've never heard that. I'm going to have to research. I just have always been told is once they got a taste for chicken, they're always going to have a taste for chicken.
I've heard about the dog tying it around the dog neck, and I don't know if it works. I have never tried it because that is so disgusting. Right. But I don't know.
My dog comes in the house, so he sure isn't going to have a chicken tied around his neck.
That's mine either. I can't imagine them crawling in the bed with me.
Oh, God, the smell, yeah. You see, like, calling them to dinner, and they're bouncing there, and the birds flapping around. Ooh. No. I guess we'll never know.
Oh, the lady that told me that, I was on her farm. She was a horse trainer, but she also had everything out there, pigs and even, what are those birds, emus?
Oh, yeah.
She had a lot of chickens just running around free range. And I asked her, how did you get your dog not to bother your chickens? And she told me that. I thought, good God, that's just nasty.
It is.
Well, we were going to talk about gardening and getting ready for spring. Keith and I made a place inside the house downstairs in it's a walkout basement. So we put up some shelves, bought some trays and some starting soil and stuff. And we haven't actually put the seeds in the dirt yet, but it's all sitting there waiting for us. I bet you've already done some, haven't you, Missy?
I'm close. We've already got, fruit trees and bushes and buckets. I think Jeremy may have shared that the other day with Keith because of the temperatures going up and down. I've got these 5-gallon buckets full of blueberry bushes, blackberry bushes, raspberries in my downstairs bathroom.
Oh, yeah, he did. I remember that, yeah.
I do have some seed trays that I'm getting ready, and then I've been saving all my paper towel holders and toilet paper cardboard pieces because it's one of the things I want to do with my cousin is she wants to learn how to garden this year. And so that's what we're looking at right after we get done with this cold spell. Last week of February is being able to start those seedlings. And I'm actually looking at possibly getting heating blankets, the heating pads to try to work inside this year until I can put them outside. So we'll see how that goes.
We did buy some of those, but we don't have any of it set up yet.
Well, my former greenhouse, the plastic got torn up to the point that I couldn't use it again, so I threw it out. I still have the frame, but it's not been taken care of yet. We'll just put it that way. It's another on Jeremy's to-do list.
Yeah.
So I may get impatient. I'm probably really going to get impatient, and I'm going to go to Tractor Supply or Lowe's, and I'm just going to buy another one because my greenhouses were phenomenal last year. I had so much stuff going nonstop, rotations with all my tomatoes and squash and cucumbers and I mean, like I had so much stuff just constantly in and out of that greenhouse. And I want to be able to have that same efficiency this year, and I don't want to be behind the power curve. I don't know about you ladies, but if you ever keep your clear plastic containers, if you're buying any fruit or vegetables, I keep those clear plastic containers and I put stuff in it. I've already got it growing on my counter. I had bok choy. I was making some Asian dishes the other day, and I cut the bottom of the bok choy off and stuck it in there. And the same with some celery and some onions. And I have scallions that I just cut the top, and they're in my windowsill. So I've already started with a lot of it.
That's awesome.
If you have tires, like I've got old motorcycle tires and stuff laying around, and I did some projects with my grandkids, and every year we kind of repaint them. Last year, I stacked some of them up and we painted them like the Minions, and we planted. One's got a whole bunch of mint. The other one's got rosemary, and of course, rosemary pretty much grows year round. So those are some other things that I've got going, and I'm going to start propagating those to get ready to give to other people. This is a time that I really start getting, doing the herbs. And some of it you could do from seed. Some of the grocery stores sell them in the produce area. And I just take it and plant it or put it in water and root it and then start growing it from there.
I've only tried that with a few things, but I never thought about trying it with everything.
So basil, I had so much basil last year, and it was for me just getting one plant and then propagating it. The mint I've been having for many years, that came from, I think it was like there may be $3 or $4 at Walmart, to be honest with you, from the produce area. You can buy your rosemary, your basil, your mint. Sometimes they'll have lemongrass. And, again, I plant it once, I propagate it, and I just start growing it and putting it up and giving as many plants as I can away, because eventually, I think I told you from last year, I had so much stuff I couldn't deal with the idea of killing a plant. So I'm like, here, I'm pinching all these suckers off tomatoes, and then I'm rooting them. And I gave over 100 plants, just tomato plants, away.
You are listening to the Dirty Garden Hose Show on Top's Bunker, but don't let the name fool you. This exclusively all-female side of Top's Bunker podcast isn't just about gardening. These girls are roundtable discussing everything from gardening tips to shooting sports, home remedies to homesteading, prepper gear, survival, self-defense, and whatever the hell else they can think of within their Prepper Survivalist toolbox. And you too can be a part of it, as long as you possess 2 X chromosomes. And yes, of course, I mean girls. This ain't one of those men in women's sports moments. So for all y'all guys out there, listen, don't talk. And you'd be an idiot if you didn't, so don't be an idiot. If you want to be a guest on the show, or know a girl who would like to be on the show, please give us a shout out. You can reach us by email at shtf@topsbunker.com or contact Rhonda on the Tops Bunker Facebook group. To be a guest on the DGH show, you don't have to be an expert of anything. Just be a girl who's interested in something within the Prepper Survivalist lifestyle. Novice or seasoned pro, we need you. Don't be shy. Shout out to Rhonda and let her know. DGHS t-shirts and show merch are coming soon. Now let's get back to the Dirty Garden Hose Show on Top's Bunker.
Yay, it's going. Okay. Awesome. So we kind of cut out a little early the other day because of all the technology problems. But some things have happened here with all the, we did have a big dump of snow, and it's deeper than I've ever stood in before. Comes up almost to the top of my mud boots.
Wow.
And it's so powdery. And every time I take a step, it just flies everywhere, which I'm not used to either. It's usually like ice and nasty. But another thing happened also. Our greenhouse, which is one of those curved frames, I don't know what to call it, but it's just like a half circle, basically, collapsed.
Oh, no. Under the weight?
Yeah, I thought snow would slide off of it, but it didn't. It accumulated and just smushed it, so it's all bent. The frame has creases in it where it just caved in the middle.
Oh,
so,
no.
Sure, we could salvage it.
You did want a new greenhouse, though, right?
Yeah, I can use an upgrade. That was the one we got off of Vevor, Vevor. I don't know if y'all have shopped there, but it was kind of inexpensive and super easy to put together, but it didn't really have anything to anchor it to the ground securely, so we had to make some modifications to keep it from blowing away. The day I was putting it together, I was like holding on to the frame after we put the cover on, and it felt like I was going to go flying off. Like hang gliding, yeah.
That would be my fear with the wind that we get around here.
Blown away?
Yeah, absolutely. I just have visions of poof and it's gone. But I'm going to do my homework and look for one. Until I can get one, I'll use the little Amazon lights. But that's the same greenhouse you used in the honeycomb holler videos, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow. They looked awesome.
It's 20 feet long and 10 feet wide and 7 feet tall.
Wow.
So I'm kind of surprised it lasted as long as it did. It's also kind of cool just to see the physics of how the snow just smushed it.
Snow can get heavy, but that powdery one you're talking about, it can get like snow concrete. We've had that before, and it was a beast to get off at the top of the coops, and it bent some of our fences. It was horrible.
I noticed that because I went around the edges and tried to scrape the snow off around the edges. Super powdery, but then I stood on something to try to reach the middle, and I couldn't budge it in the middle. It wouldn't move.
No, it's unforgiving.
Well, it's interesting to hear all this because I still have to build a chicken coop, and I've been looking at different designs and also looking at some of the tin roofs and collection devices so that if we have a lot of rain, or now that you're saying with the snow and the snow goes to melt, how we're able to collect that, in a rain system to be able to continue to water the chickens.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say our chicken coop has one slope on the roof, so it all goes one side.
Yeah.
But the other part where we collect the eggs, the little hutch has a little top on it that we raise up. That thing weighs so much, I literally have to stick my foot out behind me and use every muscle I have to lift it up when snow's on it.
Oh, God.
You'll have to have a way to like dust that off if you do that.
Yeah, my husband put long 2x4s across from one end to the other, and then on top of the 2x4s, it looks ridiculous, but I'll put upside down flower pots or pieces of wood that he no longer needed. We'll cut off extra pieces just to have little peaks throughout the different run, and that has helped monumentally keep it from sagging in the middle, because when it gets heavy, I know what you're talking about. That hurts. It's like it's impossible.
Yeah. And I could brush off the top layer of that, but on the bottom, it's like concrete, just like you said.
Yeah.
Probably pound it off with a hammer or something, but I didn't.
Oh, God bless.
The other thing I did is I went out and shoveled snow out of the run in front of the coop because the chickens wouldn't come out yesterday. They just stayed in there. A couple of them came out and got underneath, but They wouldn't come out and get in the snow, so I shoveled it today, and the dirt's exposed a little bit, and they came out and pecked around in the dirt.
They're not a fan.
I never thought about shoveling snow in the chicken coop until yesterday.
That's hysterical.
So we'll pick up where we left off. We're talking about starting seedlings and getting things going for the spring. Do y'all have any favorites? Like, what's your favorite thing to start by seed?
Pretty much anything. Well, I just think there's a lot of joy when you're able to take something and bury it in the dirt and then watch it come up and reach for the light.
Yeah.
And then to continue to nurture that. And, like in a previous episode, we talked about, and then being able to propagate and give more life to more plants and, be able to share that with people.
That's so satisfying.
Mm-hmm. But I think the ones that were the most interesting this year for me would have probably been the okra.
Oh, we had one. We had like 3 plants of okra, and they were so beautiful. And then a frost came by and killed them all. So how did yours do?
My okra did terrific. And of course, I think I shared that we did a bucket garden last year.
Yeah.
And continued to have them produced well into the fall, even after the first frost.
I'm looking forward to the buckets. We have them ready.
Well, that is one of the things that I'll be doing in the next couple of days is I have some red potatoes that I did not get cooked in a timely manner, and they have all kinds of eyes. So I'm going to start getting them prepared. And this year I'm going to put those in buckets. And in the past, I've had them in raised beds, but I want to see how they do in the bucket.
Awesome.
So I've got about a 5-pound bag of red potatoes that we're going to get cut up into different pieces, and I'm not sure how many buckets I'm going to get out of that.
How many pieces do you put per bucket approximately?
So this will be my first year doing buckets, and some of the research that I've done, most people do not put more than 4 or 5. They'll put like a layer of about 2 inches of soil, put them in that, and then put another 1 to 2 inches on that, let them grow, and then continue to put dirt on top of it as they grow. So this is going to be trial and error.
I've heard that. So when the plant pops out the top and it starts growing taller, you put more dirt in, right?
More dirt on it.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. Our potatoes didn't do very good. We had a few, but I didn't do that, and they were not very deep. So I think that was the problem.
Well, I loved it last year because I had 2 big raised beds side by side. And, to me, it's just, again, joy to watch anything grow. You see something come from nothing. And when it comes time to harvest, getting my grandbabies out there, but also our dogs love to get out there. When it's time to dig up potatoes, I don't have to worry about, getting out there with anything to break the soil up, because they're out there just quickly moving the dirt, and I'm just grabbing potatoes left and right.
Awesome. Annette, have you grown potatoes before?
I have not, but I saw on YouTube where people are growing them, and this is very new to me, in milk crates. They line it with straw, lay the potatoes in there, and then put a little bit of dirt and stack the crates on top of one another. And I'm thinking about maybe trying that. What I have right now are the sunflowers and the one little peach tree that cracked the seed. It was not like it was on the videos. They were using pliers to get to the seed on the inside of the pit. Mm-hmm. And you can take it outside on the concrete and tap it with a hammer when it's dry. Just barely tap it and it cracks open. The way people do it on YouTube, I'm scared somebody's going to get stabbed in the eye. Oh. But the sunflowers are fun. The peaches are fun. And definitely I want to try more things. And I just don't know anybody personally who has done the potatoes in the crates with the straw. But they say they have great success.
I've seen that too, but I don't know anybody personally either.
Mm-mm.
I'm interested in the sunflowers, though. I really wanted some last year, and the little voles, I think is what they're called, VOLES.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if I'm saying that properly. Came by and cracked them all open and ate them. They dug them right out of my trays, ate them.
How dare they?
That'd be funny to watch. I love the sunflowers, and I did many variations last year. I'm planning on doing a lot this year as well. Number one, help bring pollinators, attract pollinators. I'm sure the squirrels are going to love them too, but then I just want to collect the seeds to be able to do more sunflowers year after year.
Yeah. Did you get the big giant ones? The mammoth?
I didn't get those. I think the tallest ones that I had that grew this year were maybe about 6 foot.
That's pretty tall.
It is tall.
And one of I have to go back to figure out what variety it is. There was one of them that would have like 3 to 4 different sunflowers on one stalk.
Wow. That would be amazing.
I thought that was really neat, different sizes.
That's crazy. I would love to see that.
I spent a good bit of time down in El Paso, and they would have sunflowers just out in the middle of nowhere growing. And I just thought it was the neatest thing to watch them to kind of chase the sun and then reposition at night to get ready for the sun coming up the next morning.
Yeah, my cousin grew some when I was staying with her one year, and the flower heads were bigger than my head. I have pictures of me standing beside them. It was just crazy. They were so huge.
I hope that's what I have. I planted the mammoth.
Yeah, that's what they were, mammoth.
Okay.
I saw something on Facebook. That's our source of information for everything. Someone was using cat fur to spread out over their garden soil to keep all the little mice and rodents out of it. Have you ever heard of such?
I have not.
Well, when I was at my daughter, she has 5 cats. She's on her way to be the crazy cat lady. I just got under her couch and I got all the cat fur I could grab from under there and put it in a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to try that this spring.
You got to let us know if that works.
Because if that works, if the cat fur works, does the dog hair work? Because, I can collect a bunch of that on a daily basis.
Amen.
One thing I've heard all over the place is that zucchini will feed the whole neighborhood.
That is a true story.
Is it?
My zucchini did not do as well as I would have liked last year, but my neighbor, she had several plants in her backyard, and she is from Palau, and she was going home to visit family, and she's like, can you take care of the garden? Take the zucchini, feed as many people as you can. And I'm telling you, we fed about 4 or 5 neighbors on a regular basis.
Wow.
That was her zucchini did absolutely phenomenal.
I think zucchini is like the Terminator of vegetables. It is like so strong and resilient.
And there's so much you can do with it.
Yes.
One thing that I had an experience with an abundance of was radishes, which, at first I thought the only way to eat a radish is raw in a salad. It's the only way I'd ever seen it. Mm-hmm. But when we had so many running out our ears, we didn't know what to do with them. That was at my cousin's house also. It was just crazy. It was way too many. We started looking into recipes and found out you can eat the greens. So you can actually fry the greens up with, some bacon and seasonings, whatever, just like any other greens. And you can also saute the bulbs, slice them up and saute them, or chop them up and put them in stew. We just tried all kinds of stuff. So radishes are pretty versatile.
That's really interesting. We do like radishes, and like to eat a lot of them raw with salt, a little bit of lemon or lime and some salt. But also, Jeremy makes a lot of Hispanic soups, and we'll cut up a lot of cilantro and radishes and scallions to be able to throw into the soup, or the same thing if we're doing Korean food.
Nice.
And you were talking about, I did not realize that the tops were edible as well. And I know I learned last year that carrot tops were edible as well.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I did have one more thing to say about radishes. Since you just mentioned that, it just popped in my head. If your radishes bolt, like ours did. Ours didn't grow bulbs this past spring. They just grew taller and taller, and then they bolted and made seeds. And the little pods that they make look like tiny beans, maybe. Those are so delicious. Oh my gosh, they're so crispy and crunchy and delicious. So if you have radishes that go to bolt, let them make the pods and then pick those.
How do you prepare them?
I just ate them raw, but there are some recipes to use them also. I couldn't, they didn't last long enough to put them in anything to cook. They were so good.
I wonder if you could use them also in pestos. So that's some of the stuff that I'm looking at. I know they talked about the carrot tops, and, you know, you've got your cilantro and your basil, and a lot of my herbs did really, really good last year, but I'm hoping to do a lot of the carrots this year and try that as well. And then if the same thing with the radish, I'll have to look to see if you could put it in a pesto.
So do you know what the radish tops taste like? I mean, not carrot tops. I'm sorry. The carrot tops.
No, I don't know. I mean, again, this is some new things that I'm just coming into, thinking how much food do we actually waste because we don't understand some of the nutritional value is not necessarily like in that bulb itself, but it's in the leafy portion that we throw away.
Yeah, I'm interested to try those. Have either of you ever harvested any of the weeds out of your yard? Things that people make. Yeah.
Dandelion honey.
Yes, dandelion. I've not tried the honey, but I do harvest the leaves and then the roots, cut them up and dry them to make the teas with them. And my friends make fun of me, but I don't care. It's good.
Awesome.
But dandelion honey, that sounds amazing.
And most people don't realize the entire plant's edible. Exactly.
We don't have very many dandelions here. We have something called purslane. Have you heard of that? Do you know what that is?
I've heard of that, but I don't know exactly what it is.
It's a plant that kind of grows flat on the ground, and it kind of radiates out from the roots, and it looks like a succulent. It probably is a succulent, but it's all edible, and it's really crispy and crunchy and delicious also. And I would bet that you probably have them in your yard somewhere.
I have them in my yard. I just read about those the other day. I have them out front that they try to grow in between the bricks and stuff in my flower bed.
Yes.
And I was getting rid of them until I realized that it was supposed to be really good for you.
I'm looking how to spell it. Purslane, if you want to Google it.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I know we have some dandelion. I never could find plantain. I found everything that looked like plantain, but people said, no, that's not it. That's not it. So I'm like, okay, I bought seeds. I bought weed seeds, but it's so good for you as far as insect bites or pulling out toxins and drinking the teas. So I will be growing some of that as well.
Yeah.
I never could find this stuff. Everybody says it's everywhere, but the only thing I saw that I knew that I wouldn't kill myself on was the dandelion.
Yeah, we have a lot of things that look like the, my mind just went blank. The one you were just talking about.
Purslane?
No, the one that Annette was just talking about. My God.
Plantain.
Plantain, thank you. There are so many plants out here that look like that also, but I'm just not 100% sure how to identify it and make sure that that's what it is.
Well, you get it and you fix it and you feed it to your spouse. And if they live, you're good. If not, you collect insurance.
Oh.
He's already scared I'm going to feed him a poisonous mushroom.
Well, funny you should say that, because that was one of the things I was going to ask, the things that grow naturally. And there is a type of mushroom that grows on the trees that are supposed to be really good. And I know I have them out here, but I'm terrified of trying it.
Oh, well, there's a method to it. The first thing I did when the first time I went out and picked mushrooms out of our yard, I found 11 different species.
Holy cow.
In our yard, and I didn't even go into the woods. But they only grow after it rains. So it's a very short window of time that I can get them. But I Googled them. It's so hard to match all the pictures up because there's so many different characteristics that you have to look at on the mushrooms. So I narrowed it down to the ones that I thought might be edible. And then I waited, like I made mental notes. I had pictures of them. And next time mushrooms grew, I went back out and picked them again. And because they're, the shapes and sizes and everything varies between, mushroom to mushroom, I took new pictures and did new Google searches on them to make sure it came up with the same results. And it did. And that second time, I found a person that is, I can't think of the technical word for it, but they basically study mushrooms. And the way that you should test out mushrooms to see if you can eat them is first you taste a tiny bit on your tongue. Don't put it in your mouth, just kind of touch your tongue on it and see if it burns or tastes bitter. If it does, don't eat it. And wait 24 hours and then eat a tiny piece of it. Wait 24 hours again and make sure you don't get sick. And then if you don't get sick from it, you can eat it after that. But let me find that article and I'll put it in the notes to make sure.
So I think the mushroom I was thinking about is, I think they call it chicken of the woods.
Oh, that one's, yeah. That one is edible, and we have those out here, but they're hard to find. But the first time I found one, it was huge. Mm-hmm. So you have them growing on your trees?
At certain times of the year, they'll grow on the trees. I'll have to get some pictures and send them to you.
Do they grow? Ours grow on the fallen logs on the ground, like pieces of wood that are on the ground.
Yeah, a lot of them will grow on rotting wood.
Oh, I may have some.
They're orange and kind of yellow and golden orange. They kind of, I don't know how to explain what they look like.
I'm kind of terrified to try them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not brave enough yet for that.
Keith made me, he would not try anything until I thoroughly tested it on myself.
Oh.
I finally got him to eat some chanterelles. That's what they're called. Those are really expensive, and they just grow all over the place out here. Yeah, mushrooms are kind of scary, but also kind of fun.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking a class on it, and where they walk you through and point out everything that's edible or toxic and how to identify it. I don't know where they do that, though, around here.
There's some phone apps you can download, which is another thing I did, and it'll tell you, like the chanterelle, there's a lookalike that's poisonous, and it tells you what the differences are. Like the chanterelle has true gills that, the kind you're used to seeing on mushrooms, where the lookalike, I can't remember the name of it, it's the same color, but it doesn't have real gills. It has something else underneath the cap it's an obvious difference.
What is the name of the app that you use?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Of course.
I don't have it on my phone anymore. I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
And I'll put it in the show notes. I better make a note to do that.
I was just going to say, I think it's so wrong that something that tastes so good can kill you.
Well, one of the things I did read in all that studying was that there are hundreds of poisonous mushrooms that can make you sick, but there's very few that are toxic that can kill you.
Oh, okay.
It's very few.
Well,
but
that's
nobody wants to be sick either. So sick's better than dead, though.
Yeah, really.
I was going to say, when I was looking at all these seedling packets, I made a spreadsheet, which some people might laugh at, but I listed them all out and made columns for, how long it takes to germinate and what kind of, full sun or partial sun and all of that, like all the details. And one thing that caught my attention was a lot of things actually said to replant every 2 weeks for a continuous harvest. And I don't know why I've never, ever even thought of that, about how to replant stuff. So is that something that you've experienced? Like, have you done that with anything?
Are they talking about planting new seeds?
Yeah, like just continuously starting new seedlings and bringing them out every 2 weeks.
I think that would have to be with some of your lettuce, especially if you're doing like microgreens.
Yeah.
So you're constantly keeping things growing. That would make sense.
Well,
That
because
would
if
be
you're
beneficial.
harvesting it, yeah, how are you going to continue to have abundance unless you have a lot of plants? You know, how are you going to keep it going through the season?
Yeah, you're eating the old and planting the new and keeping it going, like rotating cans, but only you're doing it with live plants. That's pretty cool. I like that.
So I did do that with several different types of lettuce last year, partially because I didn't plant enough to actually meet my needs. I like to eat a lot of salad. So I would go out and I was constantly cutting leaves, and then I wound up having to be gone for a couple of weeks for a business trip and came back and a lot of it bolted. So I'm like, okay, this is going to go to seed. Let me go ahead and let some of this other stuff grow because I continue to want lettuce on a regular, but my iceberg lettuce, my microgreens and all that, everything had bolted because I wasn't here to keep it cut back.
Some of the things that I found that said that was the lettuce, but there was also dark red beets every 2 weeks, April through August, and sweet corn. Have y'all grown corn before?
I tried corn here and it did not do well.
Same.
Well, for me, it didn't do well. So for one of the things, I think I planted the corn before the soil was warm enough. Corn's going to grow best, I think, when the soil temperature is about 75 degrees.
Yes.
So that was a lesson learned. But my corn also grew and it had that fungus. I wasn't going to eat it. For what I understand, Hispanic cultures, that's kind of like a delicacy. You know, when it grows and it looks like it's got a fungus. So we did not plant a lot of crop to begin with. It wouldn't have been enough it would have been 1 meal. It would have been 1 meal, like one sitting with our family. But I also, again, I planted it too early. Soil was too cold. And the area that I put it in it wasn't full sun. It was partial sun. So that would have been better for all my cabbage, my Brussels sprouts, some of the cooler temperatures that do better in the shade.
You know, something else I read about corn is if you stagger the rows so they're not directly side by side, but kind of staggered, that helps them pollinate.
Interesting.
And then there were bush beans. And I know y'all have grown beans. I've seen pictures, Missy. I don't know if they were bush beans, but
they were pole beans.
Oh, okay. Did one plant last through the whole season, or did you have to replant?
They pretty much lasted through the season. The issue again we had is we left for a couple weeks, and if you're not out there taking care of things, they don't do so good. So most of that, all we did was get more beans to plant for a future year, for a future crop.
That was something. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that was something else that I read since you brought it up, was that you have to continuously pick to make room for new growth. Otherwise, the plant will not, it's not going to wait for you.
And one of the things that I know Jeremy's wanting to do is he wants to do, I think it's something with Native Americans, that I think it's called the Three Sisters. And it's where you're planting your crops that they sustain one another. So it's planting your corn and your beans, and I think it's a squash. I'll have to look it up. But your corn provides the stalk for the bean to grow up, and then the other is a ground cover to keep weeds from coming in.
Wow. What a great idea.
I don't know if it's aesthetically pleasing, for some people they want their garden to look super nice, but if it's functional and it saves you money from having to put up beam poles and fencing and all that other kind of stuff, I think that would be neat.
Yeah. Well, I've already told Keith there's a particular area of the yard that is going to be my chaos garden, and I'm just going to throw stuff out there and let it grow.
So it was corn, beans, and squash together in hills. And it's companion planting or intercropping. And again, the benefit of being able to do that is the corn supports the trellis for the beans. It provides the nitrogen from the air to convert into nitrates, which the corn and squash use. And then the squash becomes a ground cover, and it shades the soil and prevents moisture from evaporating, and it kind of suppresses the weeds from growing.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be proud that I remembered.
Hey, how about that bread? That was some pretty good looking bread.
Oh, it looked amazing.
So we've been trying some bread, and we've tried different recipes. It was something I wanted to start, and he quickly jumped in, and he's enjoyed it more than I have. And while I'm usually pecking away on my computer doing my job and my phone calls, he's in the kitchen doing that. So today we competed for kitchen spaces. I was trying to cook a meal, and he decided to jump in and make bread at the same time frame, but he added eggs to this particular recipe, and it had an incredible outcome.
It looked amazing.
Well, the only thing would be better with that would be some homemade cinnamon butter, or some fresh preserves or something.
Man. So did it have milk in it?
No, those recipes, if I'm not mistaken, it's you're doing your yeast starter, making sure that it proofs, and then you're adding your flour, your water, and your oil. And then I think he added, like I said, he wanted to do the egg this time in with it to see what the consistency would be.
That must be why the top of it was so shiny and golden.
The egg, and then he also brushed it with butter.
Oh.
Okay. Do y'all have anything you want to close out with for the garden stuff?
Well, I still go back to that little bit of time I spent with my grandparents down in Mississippi as a troubled teen. And the best lessons ever learned were working side by side with my mamaw in the garden. Based on our particular faith, she never preached at me. She just lived her life out loud, and she gave really practical examples that later, as I became an adult, it allowed me to have a greater understanding and a love for my fellow person, and forgiveness, empathy, and compassion. And, who would have thought that would have been from working in a garden, breaking soil, planting seeds, pulling weeds, the things that can cloud out all the good things in life. So tremendous lessons. And I wished I'd had more than a year and a half with her. I wished I'd had, my whole lifetime of being able to work side by side with her, watching and, getting to see the fruit of your labor on a daily basis working on a farm.
I think as a newbie, if I can contribute anything to people starting this for the first time, because I'm under a year trying this with the seeds, is to be mindful of draining, how your plants are draining, and have plenty of room for them to drain. And that was one of the big mistakes that I made, not having enough. They kind of drowned. Some of them drowned. And putting them outside too early. That was before I started the grow lights. And then obviously they burned up and didn't do well. So I made a lot of mistakes starting this. And as I'm putting them under the lights and growing, I'm having better results. But give yourself grace, laugh about it, learn, and move on and grow.
My prepper brothers and sisters, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dirty Garden Hose Show. This show is in its infancy and needs your help to grow. If you have a great topic in mind for the girls to discuss, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, email Rhonda at shtf@topsbunker.com or give her a shout in the Tops Bunker Facebook group. We would love to have you on the show. Stay prepped, stay happy. Thanks for listening, and good night.
I always try to take the long way home. Skip familiar places that I know. I always seem to find the open road. I'm looking for it everywhere I go. Hey, this is life in the badlands, badlands. Forget about the reason. Don't know what you're doing, but try to catch the feelings. You make me smile. I just stay a while. This is life in the badlands. worries, making friends along the way. So pack your bags and let's leave for the day. Take your worries, make them go away. Turn the music up and let's escape. Let's escape. This is life in the badlands, badlands. Forget about the reason. Don't know what you're doing. But try to catch the feelings. You make me smile. Just stay a while. This is life in the badlands. This is life in the badlands. So take the lead, help us see. Take some time out of reach. You and me, wild and free. Just believe and follow me. This is life in the badlands, badlands. Forget about the reason. Don't know what you're doing. But try to catch the feeling.